Hey, welcome to today's Power Hour by the Native Wellness Institute. Today, joining us on the Power Hour, we have Shailene Joseph, Tomas Kamalama, Sweet Sib, and Josh Parker. Welcome.
Awesome. Thanks, Josh. Cool. Hi, everybody.
Sorry, thumbs up.
Yeah, as we get this kind of started, I just wanted to introduce ourselves a little bit. So the Facebook Live, the one that we're doing now, all of the ones that you saw prior, we want to thank you all for tuning in, for one. We're with the Native Wellness Institute. So this group here is the Indigenous 20-somethings Project, also known as I20SP. We're a project of the Native Wellness Institute, and the Native Wellness Institute, also known as NWI, is a national nonprofit, but we like to call ourselves a social profit because we benefit society. We exist because of the lasting impacts of historical and intergenerational trauma. Also understanding the importance of why we exist is to help our people heal holistically. In a variety of ways, providing training and technical assistance to tribal and urban Native communities in all kinds of healing areas. We strive to keep the teachings of our ancestors alive, and this Power Hour, the NWI Power Hour, and all of them that have come before us, they because it's our response to the COVID-19 pandemic, right? It's our way to give back to community and help us create this sense of cyber community, right? Because we can't all be together in person. This is our way to create community in this kind of way. And so providing the tools, physical, mental, emotional, spiritually, looking at what are the ways that us here as individuals is kind of what we'll talk about, can, make our way through this. And so today our live is sponsored by NICWA, the National, Indian Child Welfare Association. And so we want to shout out them. Thank you guys. And so, we'll go ahead and get it kicked off. And so I'll toss it over to Sibby Sib.
Hey guys, good afternoon. So I'm just going to go over our overview of what we're going to be talking about and doing today. And yeah, so let's get right into it. So we're going to start off with all introducing ourselves. We were on the Power Hour last week. We are missing our Howie this week. We're wishing her the best up in Canada. And so we're going to start off with intros, and then we're going to go into some games. We're going to do a 30-second game where it's a question game, and I really like the game because whenever we're in a conference setting surrounded by new people, it's a great way to get out of your shell. And it's something that we like to do a lot with youth who may click up in these groups. And then when we play this game, everybody spreads apart and gets to know each other as a whole. And it's something really fun to do to start off. So we're going to start with that. And then from there, we're going to go into talking about what we've been doing during this quarantine and just going over some tools and resources of just staying positive during this time. Each one of us will share our own story and our own little journey at the beginning of this. And then from there, Josh is going to take it away and tell us a story. So we're going to do a story time. And then after the story, we're going to have a discussion of, what we thought about the story and how it applies to us. And then after the story, yesterday, we put out a ask for questions for a Q&A. And we got some questions back regarding, mental health during this pandemic. And if you have any questions, I would love for you to leave them in the comment section below. And yeah, and I'll start by introducing myself. So, Yaz Esh Sierra Bigay, Yanachia, Tapahanishle, Sinjakina Bashichin Bilaganishache, Sitna Jini Chanela, Sehotso Dena Shah. Hi, everybody. My name is Sierra Begay. I am from the Navajo Nation. My family is from Fort Defiance, Arizona, and I grew up in Page, Arizona, which is on the western side of the Navajo Nation. And I just want to, continue to say my prayers for how bad our people are being affected by the pandemic right now. We have really, really high numbers. And so I just want to, show my support in that way to everybody that's being affected throughout the world. But yeah, specifically wanting to shine light on my community. And I am I'm 38 weeks pregnant. I'm like 38 and a half. And baby is coming. I'm pretty big. Super excited for that. And this is going to be our first child. This is my partner, Tomas. And we're here at our home in Phoenix, Arizona. And I'm just thankful for I20SP and NWI to reach out to us and want us to be a part of this awesome Power Hour and shine light on our Indigenous 20-somethings, people who are, in our same age group that want these same resources. So that's me.
I'll go next. Thank you, Sierra. Geshe, hello, my name is Tomas Carmelo Amaya. I am Ashwi and Dueme on my mom's side and Raramuri on my dad's side. I was born and raised in Phoenix, Arizona, and this is where we live now in Phoenix. And Sierra was just suggesting me because I tend to move around a lot. But yeah, I'm very grateful to be part of this live again. I look forward to these power hours every day and try to catch up on them if I've missed them. And same, just I want to send good energy and positive thoughts to the entire world as we go through this together, and especially to the mamas out there who have babies in their womb or who are about to give birth, and to just all the mamas out there. I really send good energy to you and to everyone near and dear to you. So thank you for having me again.
Dope. I'll introduce myself too. Hello, Matamao Hihoatani. My name is Joshua Kaka. My Kiowa name is Konguluka. My mom's people are now in Oklahoma. We're Kiowa. So I've said this a couple of times, but any of you crazy Indians who know where Anadarko is, that's where we are, right there in the deep corner of Oklahoma. Super, super happy to come from those people in that place. And my dad's side is from Tonga. And right now, Tongans are all over the place. They're up in Alaska, they're in California, and Colorado, and Utah. So if you know where Tongans are, I have family over there too. But most of my family is in New Zealand. And that's where my dad is now. That's where I was born. I'm super grateful to have come from two very different places. It's helped me a lot, and I'm happy to be able to share some of those things that it's helped me learn along the way, and hopefully it can help you too during this time. Like Tomas said, this is a trying time, a different time where we're all having to learn how to adapt to this, and it's really good that we can all come together like this. So thank you for joining us on today's live. Ho!
Cool. My turn. Hello, everybody. My name is Shailene Joseph. My nickname is Ayan. On my mother's side, we're from Fort Belknap, Montana. Shout out to everybody back home. On my dad's side, or I'm Ani from Fort Belknap. On my dad's side, I'm Qui-Gon Athabaskan from Tanana, Alaska. Shout out to everybody back there. And usually, my brother this morning, actually, now that I'm looking at myself, he was like, "Oh, I'm different about you." I was like, "I don't have a bun in my head right now." And so usually I got a bun on my head. But my she wanted her hair braided, so we got her hair braided last night, and now I have big hair today. Yeah, so I work for the Native Wellness Institute, and I get to work alongside these amazing people in the Indigenous 20-somethings project. I'm super excited to be here. And I'm also really excited that all of us as a group get to do our part in the give back, right? It's a really trying time and an interesting time that none of us could really see coming. I've never been in a pandemic before, so we're learning as we go. And I'm just really thankful for the opportunity that the Native Wellness Institute took their talents and put them in a space that we could all enjoy and take some time. So usually in our work, we're very interactive. We play a lot of games, and we're trying to adjust to make them fit this online space. And so last night we were like, how can we make the 30-second game happen? And so for those of you at home watching, which I hope you're at home watching, and you guys can answer these questions along with us. So the rules of the game, usually if we're in person, you get a partner, and when you have a partner, we'll tell you the prompt. We'll say the person who woke up the earliest will go first, okay? And then we'll give you a prompt, whatever the question may be. The first person will have 30 seconds to answer. Then you switch, and the other person has 30 seconds to answer. So that's how this game usually goes. This time, we're going to switch it up, and Sib has made us a awesome wheel. And so that is going to decide who is going to answer our questions. So feel free to answer the questions with us. It's our way to kind of just break the ice a little bit. All right. So
okay. I'll get ready.
All right.
Do we have
who's going to answer these questions first?
Okay. So should you ask the question and then I spin?
Oh yeah. Good one. Okay, so the first question, the first prompt is, if I had one superpower, this is what it would be and why. If I had one superpower, this is what it would be and why.
Okay, let's spin this wheel.
Oh.
Stop.
All right, let's do this.
30 seconds on the clock. Ready, go.
All right, if I had one superpower, I would choose the power to fly. And the reason why I would choose the power to fly is because I can go anywhere that I want while being like social distancing. Another thing that I would do during this time in quarantine is I would have a really long stick with my power to fly, and I would fly around, and I would make other people social distance as well. Y'all know who you are. Yeah, down in LA, I'd be over there poking you 6 feet, 6 feet. So, probably pronounce myself Mr. Social Distancing. I'm not too sure how that would go, but that's what I want. Power to fly. Thank you.
All right. Now
the pressure was on.
Yeah, I hope that you guys are playing along with us at home. Second question. Okay, we're hopping right in, y'all. 20 awesome things about myself are. Not about me as in Shailene, but as in like you yourself at home. So 20 things, please. Okay. Oh, the anxiety. Yes.
Oh, wow.
Hey.
Okay.
All right, 30 seconds and go.
All right. I have a sense of humor every now and then. And let's see, my family, my tribe. If it's about myself, then I have to say creativity, talking fast sometimes, except for right now, social distancing, being a dad, and loving our little baby on the way. 20, dang. All the 20 in I20SP, whatever the 20 stands for.
2, 1.
That's less than 2 seconds. That's less than 2 seconds for everything. So that was a tough one.
Yeah.
I really wasn't expecting the wheel to land on.
Was someone prepared?
We're in the clear.
All of our names are on here.
All right, here we go. We're hopping in again. 20 things you are thankful for.
20 things I'm thankful
for. Here we go.
Yay! Okay.
All right, here we go. Ready, set, go.
I'm thankful for water, fire, earth, air, Tomas, Shailene, Josh, baby, I20SP, Native Wellness Institute, food, cookies, mail, bed, blankets, news, TV, internet, phone, family.
Or
Hey!
Those are-
well done.
Give it to-
Folks, that's how it's done.
You know what that sounds like? That sounds like when little kids pray at dinner time when they start like praying for every earth, wind, fire.
I'm thankful for the fork. I'm thankful for
That was dope.
well
That was dope.
done.
I'm thankful for the fork, for the sky,
The clouds.
clouds.
All right, here we go.
Oh, I got hot from doing that.
I was getting nervous counting. Okay, next question. All right, one funny quarantine story. One funny quarantine story.
Good
All
one. Good one.
Oh, sorry.
Oh.
Oh,
Look at the wrist.
oh no.
Looks like it's
Daily.
Yes,
Hey.
yes.
All right, 30 seconds. Someone else is gonna have to count for me.
All right, let me clear this up real quick. Okay, I'm too slow.
All
Here
right.
we go. And start.
I don't know how funny it is, but when I was telling somebody, they couldn't believe it. So the other day we had a knock at the door, which is not normal because everyone should be home, right? And went to open the door. And there's some random stranger dude, and he was like, is this your guys' truck outside? And we were like, yeah, I'll go get the person. And then so I went to go get Will, whose truck it was. Random dude, anyways, just decided to knock on our door and was like, is your truck for sale? And like 15 minutes later, so me and my siblings were inside. My brother was like, sell the truck.
She was like, so I have $3,000 in my bank account.
So that was my odd, funny quarantine story.
What a question to ask. The truck is outside your house. Is this your truck?
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. All right. Next question. Favorite quarantine meal?
Favorite
Oh.
quarantine meal.
Quarantine.
All right.
Favorite stuff.
Has everyone gotten one?
I think so.
Yeah.
Sneeps. Oh, bypass me. Yes. Hey.
Ah!
All right, 30 seconds. Go.
Okay, so the other day, Tomas and I made these bomb bison burgers, and it was so good. Oh my gosh, I hadn't had like a burger style patty with like ketchup and tomatoes and like lettuce, and so I had a burger, and it was so good. It was amazing. Yep.
Yeah.
We had sandwich bread, and the first ones I made were round, but then I made them rectangular so that they could fit better the second time.
There's like all this.
We do. We like look at what kind of like buns we have, or if we don't,
What kind of buns we have?
not the ones on our heads, or
Yeah, we don't have the circular buns. We have the square buns.
So real traditional Indian buns, man. Just flat.
all right. This will be our last one. Okay, our top 3 quarantine inspirations. Top 3 quarantine inspirations. Ready? Spin the wheel.
This is very like fair. Everybody goes
Like,
for
yeah.
All right, top 3 quarantine inspos. 30 seconds. Ready? Go.
my family. I have to start with my family. We just shout each other out and reach out to each other and provide things for each other.
We hype each other up.
Yes, NWI for this power hour, and then I have to give another shout out to Well for Culture, Dash and Chelsea. It helps us create and prep our meals, so check them out as well. Those would be my 3 inspos right there. Yeah.
That's pretty good.
Yeah. Oh, and everybody else.
Well done. Awesome. Hopefully everybody played along with us. There's a lot of ways that this can go. It's a fun game to kind of even play in the house. You can part of the game is talking about things that we don't necessarily talk about all the time. being able to say 20 things that we're thankful for makes you think on your feet really fast and kind of switch the way that maybe we're thinking about the day. I know if I wake up, on the wrong side of the bed, sometimes I make a fool of myself and I'll literally lay back in and roll to the other side and hop out. And I usually laugh at myself. But, then I say, what are the things that I'm thankful for today? Because it kind of makes you reframe the way that maybe you're starting your day off, or maybe something happened during the day that you can take a moment and say, okay, well, what are the things that I'm thankful for? Other things, what are the superpowers we have, right? Sometimes we rearrange that question to, what is a superpower I already have, and how do I use it? What was another question? Favorite quarantine meals, right? If you have one and you haven't made it yet, take the time today to make it, especially on those really hard days. Just be really mindful with yourself. So those are kind of the reasons we like to play this game. And now what we wanted to do was kind of segue into what are the things that our crew here has been doing as individuals to kind of make our way through this really trying time, right? What are the things that keep us in balance? What are the activities that we've been doing, or even building? And some of us, all of us, can speak on the things that we've been doing to get through this quarantine. So I'll pass the time over to Tomas, and he'll kick us off here.
Perfect. Well, I actually want to talk about this activity super quick because I want to point out, in the times that I've done it, I've noticed that it's harder to say nice things about yourself sometimes, and it's good to do this exercise often because it's good to have positive affirmations about yourself. And so I was kind of stunned, and at first I wanted to answer things I'm grateful for, which I think I can just say much faster for some reason. But when it came to looking at myself and showing love to myself, I felt like interrupted for a moment. And so I encourage you all, while you're in quarantine, to think about those things that you find that are good about yourself. So that's a good segue to I like to write. I'm a writer. I actually like writing poems and songs and film scripts. So one of the things that I've been doing is writing a lot more. And sometimes it doesn't come as naturally, but when I have a chance to, and I play music at the same time. I try to play music with lyrics, but then it doesn't work because then I'm thinking about the lyrics. So I'll tend to play instrumentals, and then just get to writing. And a thing that I did recently too is I put visuals up on the screen. I'm really intrigued by the deep ocean, if that makes any sense, or just the ocean. It's really calming. And one of the reasons why I like writing is it makes me really look at the things that I've learned about in life. And in the midst of this pandemic, it made me think of a time when I was at the hospitals. I worked in healthcare for about 10 years as a medical interpreter. So I'd be there with the patients and the doctors and everyone in between, just anyone that needed help with language services. And as I was writing about those instances and the memories that I have of the people that are working at hospitals right now, I remembered there was this doctor, and I won't say where I was or her name, but she was a resident and she was about to move on to the next part of her career. And we would see so many patients throughout the day, so many patients at this very busy family practice clinic. And this particular time, we were done with clinic. It was the end of the day, and I could hear crying down the hall. And when I walked over to check out what was going on, I saw this doctor, and she was in front of the computer, and she looks at me and she's like, "Oh, Tomas, I'm sorry." And I was like, "No, it's okay. Is everything all right?" And she just says, "I'm gonna miss my patients," and that hit me like so much that's how she felt. Like that's how much she cares for the people that she takes care of. And it was just her in that moment, and I know that she was kind of expressing her tears. But when I write, it makes me think of those instances when I really get to see our humanity in these very vulnerable moments, whether that's from a physician or someone's loved one, and to know that we have people like her, like this doctor, and so many other doctors and so many people from environmental services and everybody that's just helping out on the front lines and everyone in between. There are people out there that care this much, that love our loved ones as much as we love them. And this should be a sign of hope and just reassurance. And to that point, it was through this writing process, right? Telling stories is part of our oral traditions as Native people. Sometimes we get to write these things down if we choose to. And for me, it's always been a bit harder to write. Sometimes I'll even play the guitar too, and I'll think of things, and that helps me kind of get through words. But I was really grateful for that memory of when I walked in and I said, that was a special moment. And it was so many years ago, but it stuck with me. And it came as a blessing to remind me that when Sierra and I, go to the hospital and deliver baby, that there's going to be people there that want good for us. And I just,
Oh, you're gonna make me cry.
I'm just really grateful for all the tools that we have. Writing is one of them. Like I said, music as well. I've been a little bit more to myself. Writing, I have a certain environment that I like when I write and play music, and it helps me balance out the workload. I'm fortunate right now to be able to work from home. I'm the creative director for Indian Country Today, and I'm very blessed and honored to work with such an excellent team. And there are still, demands of work, and I try to separate as much as I can the things that I need to do for work and then the things that need to bring me balance. But I really love that our team is all about creating a non-toxic, friendly, and supportive environment. That's how I feel. And it's been a lot of balancing. And so I encourage you, if you have certain expectations or deadlines, to communicate your boundaries too, and make time for those tools for yourself, whether it's writing or painting, uh, telling stories, or if you're a great social person, calling your friends. We all have that cousin or friend that has the jokes and can cheer people up. So if you're doing that and calling people, I appreciate you. But that's one of the things that I've been doing. And to add to that, a lot of it's been in front of the computer, and I like to balance out being outside. So I've been doing yard work, and it was funny because I was praying to the weeds. I was like, I'm sorry, I gotta kill you like this. And then look what happened, real quick. Let me tell you about this finger right here. So I got this mower. I got this mower, and it doesn't require gas or battery power. It's a push mower, a real mower.
But it's really
Boom.
good.
But it's nice. It's nice. It's nice though. It's nice. It's a real mower 3000. I don't know what it is. It got Wi-Fi too. But I cleared the grass to make sure there was no obstructions, right? But there was this one rock. I got humbled. Bam. And I feel like the weeds talked to the rock and said, post up, post up. So I hit the rock. It bends the blade, and I'm a little frustrated at this point. And so I flipped the mower over. I noticed that the blade is bent, so I started knocking it down, and it was like the toughest steel ever. But my dad's a person that's worked in construction for the longest time. I'm so grateful for learning those tools, and how to use tools. And I'm thinking about him, and then my mind slipped because he says, always be present in what you're doing. Don't be distracted, especially when you're working with tools. So I was hammering, and I was getting a little frustrated, and just wait, let me put it right here. Bam! Like the full hit was on my nail. Instantly, it turns black, and I screamed out, and Sierra was out there like sipping tea, like, "Oh dang, he got hurt." But fast forward, I remembered my medical experience, and I do not. Please do not do this at home at all. Do not do this at home. It is not advised. I'm not giving you this advice for this reason, but this is what I did, and I took that risk because I didn't want to go to a clinic. I boiled some tweezers, some stainless steel tweezers, and then I heated the tip till it was red hot, and I actually was able to get the blood out of my nail, and that's a story right there. So when I'm outside, I still felt the blessings of the sun. I like being out in the open air, but I got humbled, and it was a teaching that I always should be mindful of what I'm doing, be present, because then the weeds are gonna humble you. So be careful with them weeds. Make sure you pray for them weeds. They're plant relatives too. Shout out to all my dandelions out there. And a lot of us indigenous people, we eat weeds, man. There's some good meals we can make with the weeds.
Oh man, shout out to my
Elakwa.
Josh.
Yeah. I've been doing stuff outside as well. Been lucky, nothing yet happened to my hands. During this time of quarantine, so you know how, like little boys, when you put them in front of like toys, they'll just sit there and like rearrange them. Sometimes they'll fight with them or whatever, but very task oriented. I never really grew out of that, and so one of the things that I feel has been a great blessing to me is been able to refine that skill. I use that time with like building with my hands, literally building with my hands, or carving things to be able to process what's going on. So that's been super helpful. We installed this kitchen for the little people who steal my remote and eat my Cheez-Its. And so that's pretty cool. I'll take you guys over here real quick and show you a few other things, I guess. I got a whole bunch of pallets from this feed store. The guy just opened up the gate. He's like, take as many as you need. So we built my nephew and my boy. We built a little fort out of pallets for them, and we only used hammers and hand saws to cut everything because I wanted it to take a long time. But then we finished it in a day. Started growing stuff, so that was pretty cool. Planted some things on full moon, and then planted other things on not a full moon just to see what the difference was. Because our marama taco, the Maori marama taco, and the Tongans, they plant by the moon cycle, as many indigenous people do. I built this garden, so that was pretty fun. And then we got chickens.
Hey.
Oh, they're so cute.
Yeah, they come out here to hang out during the day. I'm gonna eat them one day, so I'm trying not to get too attached, but they're mainly for eggs. Yeah. Oh, and then we got a whole bunch of wood here for the chicken coop, which will be built next week. But yeah, I feel like personally, it's really important to be working with my hands during this time. Again, like I said, when I'm out here with my nail gun and my saw, cutting things up, it helps me to be able to like process and sit with myself and just kind of zone out to music and accomplish a task so that by the end of it, I have something that's useful for me and my family. And then I feel good about it. And I worked the whole day, so it was good. Yeah, another thing I've been doing is like shooting my bow a bunch. So I've been able to hunt a few rabbits, which we processed last night, and we'll be gifting like a stew pack, 2 rabbits to pack. We'll be gifting them to elders in my partner's community here in Santa Ynez. So yeah, and a turkey. So I've just been passing the time like a grown-up kid, I guess. I mean, don't stop and shooting things. But no, it's been super fun. Another thing that I've been doing to pass the time though is like writing a whole bunch of music. So I do love to play the guitar. And I love to play piano as well, but don't have a piano here. So I've been playing my guitars and been working on a bit of an album, which is pretty exciting and really fun. I don't know if I'll release it though because it is like really personal to me and the situations that's going on right now. Been producing my own music and recorded 2 songs, and it's our potty training album. So there's a lot of questionable lyrics that I don't know if I wanted to have my name attached. I'm like, wow, we really saying that? But it's pretty fun. It's pretty fun, and I'm glad that during this time, even though there is um, a lot of hard and difficult things happening right now, I have all this time here with my family. My sister just moved over right before the pandemic was announced here in this country and in New Zealand. She moved over from New Zealand, and so I have the support of of my oldest sister, Rachel, and I'm super super grateful for that, and her 5-year-old son, and so being able to have time with my nephew and teach him the things that I want him to know and have at this time, things that were given to me, and things that if he wasn't here or at home in Oklahoma um, might not have access to right now. It's important, and so there are some definite wins happening right now, and yeah, I'm grateful for that. That's pretty much all we're doing.
Someone said, quick question, does pallet wood rot?
Yeah, it does. It's totally not meant to be permanent, but it's something to do. So I figure I have the time, might as well. It's actually a 2-story fort. They have a ladder on the inside.
Dang.
Yeah, there's no guardrail on top, so I try not to like film the boys when they're on top because they're like, that's unsafe. But they do that. That's a thing. Yeah.
I saw this video like a couple days ago. It was like res kids during quarantine, and they're like jumping off the roof onto this like mattress.
That's
I was
cool.
like, yeah, dude.
Yo, if the women in this
But
house would let
fun.
me, bro, I'd be doing that, man.
It's a water
Just
bed
getting
though.
in touch with that eagle spirit. Just like,
Fly like an eagle.
yeah.
Oh, cool. I can go next. Randy said hi, Josh.
Oh, hey.
Yeah, so for me over here, when this first started, we were on travel. So Sib and I were counting down how many days we've been in quarantine. It's been a minute. It's been a while. I don't know how many days. But we've been like really just trying to make sure, for me, like every day I've been like trying to, and even more so as the days go by, be mindful of how I can show up for the people in the house. I think it's important because there are a lot of us here, and it can be a really interesting time to be stuck in a house. And so they're like poking their head in. And so how can I best show up to make sure that this quarantine is the least amount of stressful as possible? And so prior to this, my brothers and I were like on a good gym schedule. We were going every day, and then they were like quarantine. And so we couldn't go anymore. And so we've been finding ways to kind of get workouts in at home. For a while there, we were just doing them like individually, like in our rooms, and not telling each other that we were working out for whatever reason. But we have this downstairs deck, and we like there was just like there's a swing on there. What else is back there? There's some like woodworking stuff, but we moved everything out and like pressure washed it, and we have puzzle mats coming in, and we're building an outdoor gym back there. And so like at first we were like, okay, let's like, buy a bunch of weights. And then I was like, oh wait, no, we can use other things. We also have these cement bags. If everybody's picked up a cement bag, they're friggin' heavy. We kept them back there, and we'll be using those as weights. We have some kettlebells and some other stuff. So just kind of creating a space for the whole house to be able to go. It's like it's a nice view, and it's a good way to just kind of be outdoors. My oldest brother has been building what are those things in the back? In the
Gazebo?
gazebo.
Arbor?
Yeah. A gazebo in the back.
Harbor.
Yeah. Dance our
Our
power.
powwow harbor.
We're gonna have
For all our randos.
all by ourselves. No.
Bring the powwow home.
We're taking this social distancing powwow for real.
Get your built powwow arbor today.
We're going all out for quarantine. Yeah, so we've been looking at how we can finish that. My brother, our youngest brother, I have all brothers, if people didn't know that. Our youngest brother has been building bows, like a bow. I think he's on his third one, and they're looking so he's self-taught, And so I've been like in there just kind of like filming every once in a while, or sometimes just sitting and watching. Our niece is like super into it. She's 2 years old. She'll be 3 in like 2 weeks. Um, and so she's super into it. And what else have I been doing? A lot of art, actually. Yeah, I've been doing a lot of drawing. It's been a really interesting thing because I haven't all the things where I was like, oh, I don't have the time because I'm too busy. Like all those things I used to say, I'm finding the time for because now I have nothing but time. Um, so been doing a lot of drawing and like Tomas the other day, I was just kind of looking at what are the things that inspire me or what are the things that are on my mind. And so for a couple of days, I don't know, most of our I20SP crew, they're about to like pop out some kids, like everybody. So I was like really thinking about them and all the moms, and so I was like doing this piece, and that's my other funny quarantine story. I don't know how to make videos, but whatsoever. And so I was telling Tomas and Sib, I was like, I have something to show you guys. I was telling Josh too, and then I was like, but it's not done yet, and it was just an image, and I had wrote this thing out for it to go along with it, and then I was like delirious at 2 a.m. one morning, and I was like, I'm gonna record this and see what happens. And then I like did a screen recording on my iPad. That's how I put that together.
Oh,
um,
wait.
yeah, and so I put this video together, and then I sent it to these guys. But my test was, I was like, okay, if my youngest brother laughs, then I don't know if I'll show anybody. And so he came up that morning, and I was like, hey, I gotta show you something. Let me know what you think. And he was watching it, and I didn't want to look at him because I was like nervous. And I was like, okay. And then he was silent, and I was like, well. And then I kind of like peeked, and then he was like, that really good. Awesome. And so I've just been like creating and just thinking about the people that inspire me, because for me that's like really what helps get me through. And then watching my mom, like my mother is Jolene Joseph, for those of you who don't know, an incredible woman. I've been watching her like work countless hours. And so for me, it was like, okay, how can I show up for her too? So whether that's like cooking the meals or cleaning up or picking up some of the work, in making sure that all of us here in the house are balancing out, right? What are the things that that we all love that we can all do together? I baked cookies yesterday. We cooked a warm meal yesterday. We had a tenderloin. My brother's a hunter. Yeah, and it was fire. So we had like sweet potatoes and a bunch of baked veggies. Yeah, it was fire. And so, doing things that for myself also, but also like thinking about everybody in the house. And then additionally, what are the things that I can do for my friends? Because I know that I have the energy to do so. I'm working on my sleep schedule still. We're getting a little bit better. Yeah, I got like last night, so feeling good today. And just what are the things that I love to do, making sure I do it at least once a day, because I think it can be a really hard time, especially the other thing I've been doing a lot more recently is I only watch the news like maybe twice a week, or I just look at like the headlines, open the article, read the article for the updates, and then kind of stay my distance. I don't want to hop into the fear of anything. I'm not much of a fearful person, but just being really mindful. And then I had to go out on my second time. I had to go for an errand. My grandpa needed fish food. He was really worried about his fish. So, so I had to like call the order in, and then like drove up, and they came like totally like gloves and everything. And then they were like, here you go. And like basically dropped it in my hands, and they ran back in. And I was like, okay, thank you. Fish food for my grandparents. And yeah, just been, FaceTiming these guys, FaceTiming my friends is a major crack up. Just checking in with the people that I love, and yeah, watching movies. That's one of my favorite things to do. So we're watching movies. Yeah, I think for me, that's kind of what I've been doing, checking in with myself, but honestly checking in with myself. What am I actually feeling? Not like, oh yeah, I'm fine, and like that little dog meme where everything's on fire. But really, like, what are the things that I need, and making sure that the house is taken care of, because there's some people that are immune compromised in the house, and so making sure that the rest of us who have basically a better shot, making sure that we go do the errands as efficiently and mindful as possible, and then yeah, just really taking care of one another. How can I show up for the people in my house if I have the extra energy? How can I show up for my friends who need help? And then working the hours that I'm supposed to, trying not to work too much. Finding a balance between everything, making sure I laugh a lot during the day, whether it's at myself or my brothers. Fun things like that. Yeah, that's what I've been up to, basically. So I think from here on out, we're gonna toss it to Tomas for a little bit. We got a couple of questions that we asked. If you have any more,
Yeah.
hit them in the comment question. Just kidding, it's gonna be Sib. If you have any questions for us, put them in the comment section, and we'll answer them to the best of our ability. We have a couple of asked questions, and we'll answer those. So, Sib.
Yeah. Okay. I think I can. What is it called? Mediate? Is that mediate?
Facilitate.
I facilitate. I can facilitate the questions.
No, I could do it after you do the things that you've been doing.
Oh, okay.
Oh yeah. Sib, what have you been doing?
Okay, so I have. Oh man, thank you guys for sharing. I loved hearing all of your guys' stories and seeing what you guys are up to. It's so nice to connect in this way because we're all, going through it together. And so I just want to say thank you for sharing. So what I have been doing that I hadn't done before is really like writing down like the positive things or just things in general that made an impact on my day. I'm not a writer. I get like crazy anxiety with writing. Even writing an email like freaks me out. Writing a Facebook post, writing an Instagram post, I need to really work on it. And I've been, taking some steps. But so before the quarantine, my aunt came down for spring break, and we're at like Hobby Lobby and like doing all this stuff. And then she found these planners, and they're called Hello planners. I think that's what they're called. Hold on, I have mine right here. Oh,
those are
pretty sure they're called like Hello planners. And they're super cute. I guess I'm pretty girly. And so in my planner, I have been using it as like a journal and a planner at the same time. Whenever I've gotten planners before or like notebooks before, I would always like leave them like halfway done. And if it was like a journal, it'd be like, journal entry March 5th, and then the next journal entry would be like May 23rd. So it was like never really like consistent with journaling or like planning planners. I don't know. And so I've been doing like both of it in like just one place, and I've been writing more. And I feel like a lot of it now has to do with like baby coming and thinking about like different things that like happened during the day that I thought of. Ooh, get in the feels. that I thought of, or like what happened at the appointments, and just like little things that I want to remember like down the road. And so I've been writing down like, yeah, just like all the little positive things. And like some days like it'll be my to-do list, and like other days it's more of like me sharing a story as if I were to be like telling a best friend. And so that's been something that's really helped me with like my mental well-being, and trying to balance out with like what's happening, and then yeah, and then just that's what's up.
I love it.
Here are the questions. You're right. Yeah, it's been amazing to see the writing, seeing you write like in the journal.
Oh yeah, and it's like super colorful. If you guys want to see, I'll show you a page. It's really and I have really bad handwriting, so I'll be the only one that's gonna be able to read it.
Your own
It's,
intention.
super like colorful. I like messed
Oh.
up a lot, so it's like scribbled out. And so that's like my little planner, and just yeah.
Sib.
That's some writing, dude.
Yeah, that's
It's
awesome.
super. Like right here, this is so funny. Like there's like random things that are so funny.
Says Tomas has
Whoa.
bad breath. What day was that?
It says right here on March 24th, woke up craving coffee. Starbucks, Stumptown, a latte. Hashtag COVID-19.
Whatever gets you, man, you know?
Yeah.
It's disrupted life as we know it.
Anyways.
Yeah, questions up.
Awesome.
Do the
So
question
did
round.
we get some questions in earlier?
We can, I didn't see any, but we can do the ones that we got asked before.
Okay.
And then anybody else, again, if you have questions, throw them in the comment section and we'll answer them.
Okay, let's scroll through. I'm scrolling through our comments from earlier because we asked earlier.
Yes.
Did you see any?
Not particularly for the Q&A.
Okay. Okay. Well, as we're scrolling through, do we want to do the wheel again for the questions, or should we all individually answer?
We can just openly, whoever wants to answer.
Oh, okay, cool.
I have a special guest.
Hey, special guest.
Hey, it's Christine.
Hi, Christine.
Oh, she's so cute.
Our first question is for Christine.
Okay, so one of the first questions is, how did we first meet?
How did we first meet?
At birth, huh?
Yeah. Okay, go.
I'll answer that one if that's okay.
Mhm.
We all met at the Native Wellness Institute's summer camp, which is called Wellness Warrior, and it's out on Grand Ron's land in Central Oregon, Southern Oregon.
Yeah.
Let's say Central, somewhere in there. Central Southern Oregon, definitely below Portland. We were all there. We were all asked to come and perform these not perform, but fill these different needs for the camp. And so everyone was working in different capacities all over. Some were working in the kitchen, some were filming. Tomas and Sib were filming and documenting the event. I was building stick forts with kids in the woods and rubbing sticks together and making fire with them. So that was super fun. But yeah, we were all doing different things, and there were 17 of us again in that original crew. And at the end of it, we had a meeting, and we all kind of met each other throughout the week, but it was that final meeting that really brought us all together. And so I felt like I actually met a few people only in that final meeting. there are a few people that I only saw throughout the week, but it was so busy, didn't really get to see too many people. But actually, Siv, I met Siv when we were working together for a wilderness therapy company. It's based out of Phoenix. So I met her prior to being at camp. That was cool.
Yeah, I think I did. I met Sib. How many years has it been?
6.
God,
6 years.
6.
Yeah.
I met Sibby Sib 6 years ago in San Diego. Josh, I met a couple of years ago through his sister. His sister moved over here first. Hi, Ta, if you're watching. Let's see. And then Tomas through Siv a couple years ago. It's been a couple years. And it's been dope building just all our relationships and the crazy adventures that we've been on. And first impressions, these are my kind of people.
Oh, shoot.
Here for this, right? Like, there was a lot of singing, a lot of dancing, a lot of laughs, a lot of crying. Mostly crying because we're laughing so hard. But yeah. I think that's all I have to say. Question number 2.
Next question. Okay. What keeps you all inspired and positive?
I can go for that one. What keeps me inspired? My family. I work really hard for my family, and that little tiny human that came in here, she's about to be 3 in 2 weeks or so, inspires me daily to just be better and to do better. We woke up this morning because she stayed with me last night, and it's my oldest brother's kid, and she doesn't wake me up, but she kind of wiggles until I wake up, and it's like the greatest way to wake up. And we do our morning stretches, we do like baby yoga, and like I want to make sure that I start off my day just as awesome so she can have an awesome day. And so I think about her daily, and all the new babies that we have coming. A lot of my family's having kids, and just my family in general. I try to do the best that I can because I think about what I had as a kid, or sometimes even the things that I needed, and I try and fill those positions. And then my friends, my peers, and then like everybody who's done this work before me, they inspire me daily. And a lot of our mentors that we work with, we have the incredible opportunity to work with, inspire me because they're just like so full of life and so much wisdom that I aspire to be like all my mentors really, when I grow up.
When you get all big.
I'm a big kid.
Oh yeah. Well, I'll just quickly say that I stay inspired by our relationship. I would say that we have a healthy relationship, or we try to strive for a healthy relationship, and it inspires me because it makes me think of how we'll raise a baby, and just seeing how it's funny because we kind of practice for this because we're spending so much time with each other before the quarantine that we're okay with being with each other for long periods of times, and we respect each other's space and autonomy. But it inspires me to keep on developing that and seeing where it goes, like where it can make us stronger as individuals, and to share that with our community, because I know there's a lot of people that need that, in their lives, and healthy relationships, not just in amorous relationships, but other relationships as well. I do have to go for a meeting right now, but I love you guys, everybody watching, everybody on the screen, everybody doing good work and leading with your heart, with good intentions. I appreciate you, Alakwa. Thank you. I gotta go. Hold up.
Wait, you forgot your stuff.
Wait, hold up. I just need my phone.
The computer's
That's what inspires you.
Definitely my little guys, the 2 boys, man, they are fiery. they are always watching Frozen 2 and they can't sing to save their lives, but they have chosen Frozen 2 to be their theme music, like every song. And so that's really fun to be able to be met by that energy super early in the morning. Sometimes it's a bit rough, but most of the time it's pretty awesome. I agree with Shailene. She said earlier that she doesn't watch the news but 2 times a week now. This is this pandemic. It's heavy and it's ever present. You know, we've had to change the way that we go to the grocery store. We've had to change the way that we eat. We have had to change the way that we interact with family. And so that's difficult. And so I am also inspired by those who are leading research to find vaccines, who are um, out there making things happen in terms of mitigating risk during this time in communities, because those guys don't have the luxury of stepping back from that madness. They're in it, and they're doing it for all of us. And so that's really inspiring to me as well.
Well, I think that is our time. I wanted to thank everybody watching, and like Josh said, if we have any nurses, or if you know any nurses or doctors, everybody on the front lines who are really doing the work to help keep us all safe. Thanking all the people who are constantly reminding people the best ways to stay safe. And so, we want to also let you know to tune in tomorrow. Our homies, Stash and Chelsea, will be on. They're always a good time. And same time tomorrow, noon. Once again, thank you, Nikwa, for sponsoring this, and giving us the means to continue this work. I want to thank all my crew that showed up today to do this work. Tomas, who had to step away, Josh and Sib. Thank you guys, and I look forward to what is to come. Take care of yourself. Oh, one last thing. Last time we did a fort challenge. I saw in the comments someone said, "Are we going to do another fort challenge or a crazy trick shot challenge?" Us on at I20SP on our Instagram, and we'll be kind of doing social media stuff. But what we wanted to do at the end of this is encourage everybody to take the opportunity to do something for self-care today. Let us know what it is. Tag us on our story, and we'll share it so we can kind of get other ideas, maybe things people haven't thought of before or thought of yet, or just to kind of share what we're doing and to share those positivity. Cool. Awesome. Thank you guys again, and catch you two later.
Bye.
Later, guys.
Yeah.